Good morning, San Diego. I'm just kidding. What is that?
I think you're trying to do something from Anchorman.
Is
but
it? Yeah.
I don't think that's what he says.
I have no idea.
Well, you're getting Anchorman vibes because we're in the studio. Hey, guys. Welcome back to the SAUCY SIBZ podcast with your host, Francesca.
And I'm Nicodemus.
And welcome back, fam.
Yeah, welcome back to the SAUCY SIBZ. We're so excited to have you here in our new studio with our new bar. I don't know if you guys can see it.
You got to watch it. We're actually going to figure out also how to put the videos on Spotify.
Yeah.
So you can see them from there. We just figured out that's a possibility.
I thought that was only like reserved for like
the famous people.
The famous people that like have like exclusive deals with Spotify.
Yeah, so did I. But I read an article.
Why doesn't every other podcaster do that then? You know what I mean?
Fair.
That's what I don't know. But anyway.
Let's get our exclusive deal with Spotify. You guys, so important though, we are sitting at a bar from Grandpa Leo. Shout out Grandpa Leo.
Shout out Grandpa.
And his grandchildren, Vince and Alexis. That's it. Okay. Alexis. I found this bar on Craigslist for like nothing. And they were like, yeah, come pick it up. And so we enlisted the help of our friend Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
And you guys, just to explain, it's like an antique, hand-built, like 1950s bar. It's like a two-person bar. It's small. It has matching chairs, but it's like a yellowy beige leather. It's like straight out of Mad Men.
Yeah, and we're sitting behind it, and we really love it. And we're not really sure like where it's going in our house or in our studio. We're sitting behind it right now just because we thought that we just wanted to show it off, even though we're not sure if this is where it's going to go. However, we love it. And everyone we show it to, everyone's like, that's so fucking sick. I'm like, yeah,
everyone's like, wait, how much you pay for that? Like they think we paid like thousands. No, we got it from the fam. We actually, though, it was quite of course, because moving is like our, I don't know, thing we're here to like overcome in this life. We're always
that's
moving
our karmic
hard.
Debt, just like moving hard shit. Yeah.
Yeah. We had to completely take it apart. We had to take the doors off the hinges at Grandpa Leo's house. And we got it up the stairs because I'm pretty sure it was built in the house, and the house was built and then they built it in the basement.
Yeah. Like they constructed it in the basement.
Inside
so
the house.
Get out. Yeah. But you know what I was thinking, Francesca, about our friend Sam?
Yeah. I
feel like everyone needs, like, if you're moving a whole bunch of shit, like, you need to find, like, some man to help you.
Yeah. I mean, I have you, like, you live with me, you're my brother, so it's, like, I at least have, like, one dude around to help me move shit.
I know,
because, like, if you're just a single girl, like, shit's, no offense to women, we're usually not as strong. Yeah. So it's, like, shit, how the fuck am I going to move that? And so I'm like, okay, well, like, I got Nick, so, like, I have one dude. Now I need another one.
I feel like some straight men are just, like, born with the like, well, we gotta move it gene in them or something.
Like they're excited to get up and help. Right, he was like, yeah, like he had a work day.
He offered to help us, which I wasn't expecting. I was like, oh, how'd you convince him to help us? You were like, no, he just wanted to.
I was like, because I asked him if he had a truck. Because first I was trying to scramble to buy trucks, but you can just rent trucks.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
News to us. You can just go to the Home Depot. What can't you do at Home Depot?
We went to Home Depot today. Look at this nice plant.
Yeah,
she was $45. Bird of Paradise, right?
Bird of Paradise, yeah.
It's gorgeous.
I feel like this podcast has really become like it's a tool time, simple life, home renovations, like trading spaces. I don't know, but
trading spaces was the shit.
I used to love that.
I got off on that back in the day. It was the best.
Mm-hmm. Well, so we'll do a photo shoot with the bar too, and we'll post it because it's so beautiful. That's the update on the studio. Francesca also has another update. We posted it online.
We did.
Yeah.
So what we'd been teasing for months, like finally came to fruition. It happened. The game show that I was on with Jay Leno, which we can say now, it's called You Bet Your Life. It just aired. I got an email like last week that was like, oh, your episode's going to air. Cause like Nick and I have both been cast on things. They didn't happen. They did happen. Mm-hmm. So this was just like this funny game show. And I decided to apply for it and it happened. But first, guys, there's just so much of the story, but I'm so happy. Yeah, it finally aired. The first time They flew me out to LA. Nick came with me.
Yeah. I just hopped on the plane. I was like, we're going to LA, bitches.
And we also had a podcast planned with our friend Liam. But then like we flew to LA. We're getting ready. We're going to go film a podcast with him. I had to get home and go to bed early because I had like a 6 a.m. call time. And then we're leaving at 5 p.m. And production got canceled because someone got COVID. So we're like in LA and that didn't happen. But then we went out on the town in West Hollywood and like filmed 2 podcasts.
It was actually kind of more fun that way. Because
it was way better.
You were just like, I'm going to go to bed at 8 p.m. Nick, you can stay out. You have fun. And I was like, yeah, I'm absolutely going to stay out. Like, I don't need to be up at 6 a.m. Then it got canceled. And then you were like, oh, well, guess we're going out.
Yeah. And I didn't think it was going to happen. Then they were like, well, are you available in like 3 weeks if we fly you out again? And I was like, sure. Let's do it again.
Why not?
Because they fly you out, they put you up in a hotel. It's like fine. Besides like all the COVID tests that I hope they're not still doing.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's like still a thing
for TV.
Like Hollywood's still like playing the game. But because you got to like take a test before you like leave, take a test when you land, take a test when you get to set. It's a whole thing. But yeah, so I went a second time but this time by myself. I was like, Nick, you have to like work. You can't just come to LA and party again. So I like land, they booked me in. And I was just so like excited. I was like, okay, like I had been like working out a bunch and eating really healthy and like not drinking. Cause I was like, okay, I'm going to be on national television.
And you did really good.
Yeah.
You really like kept to it. You were so motivated for it. And I was really happy for you. And so I was like, oh, like if I was drinking or something, I'd be like, no, Francesca, you got to be on TV. You need to be at your 100%,
So I was just going by myself. But the night before I had like, I don't even remember what I did. because this was last July.
Was it July?
I think it was July. So I don't even like remember. I think I like went shopping in LA a bit. And then one of our friends like owns a bar called Soulmate in WeHo, West Hollywood. And so I wanted to go check it out. And he was like, oh, like you should stop there. It's like the hottest spot, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like there and I'm having like a little happy hour by myself and I'm just like loving it. The bartender's like, what are you in town for? I'm like, oh, I'm just like on the show.
I'm filming. I'm on set,
The studio just flew me out. Totally cool. And but it's like gorgeous out because it's still like cold up in Summit always. And so it's just like a nice like LA day. And so I was sitting there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like have a glass of rosé. I'm just like celebrating. I'm so excited. So I had one, but it was happy hour and I had some oysters and
that's how it starts.
Then I had 2. I actually had 2 there. And I was like, okay, 2 glasses of rosé. But then I'm like, after not drinking for like a month or 2, I was like, ooh. I was like, you know what? I was texting my friend James. Shout out James.
And
I was like, hey, are you working tonight? And he like didn't get back to me. And I was like, you know what? I bet he's not getting back to me because he works. But I realized he works for one of Lisa Vanderpump's restaurants, Pump. And I was like, oh, it's 2 blocks away. So I was like, oh, I'll just like walk down and see if James is there. So I'm like walking down and then he's like, if you've ever seen this restaurant of Lisa Vanderpump's, it's like filled with like olive trees. It's like this grove with like little lanterns hanging down. It's just like gorgeous and kind of magical. And so I like walk in and I like see him and he's like, Francesca, like what? And I was like, oh my God. So he like comes out, gives me a hug. And I was like, I'm sorry. Do I have friends in West Hollywood? And he's like, oh, he like introduces me to his other friends. And like, there's like a makeup artist and a photographer. And so we're just like sitting there hanging out. And he's like, what do you want? And I was like, oh, I'll do like a Vanderpump. Like she has her own rosé. And I was like, I'll do a Vanderpump rosé. So he like pours me a glass of rosé. Yeah, but I'm still like eating healthy. So I just had like a salad with some shrimp. But I'm like talking to his friends, telling them about my thing tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, like I have to get up at 4 a.m. because I have to be in full hair and makeup by 6 a.m. So like I have to do this. I was flying high.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. Like I bet the energy was so hype. It's like if I was in your position, I'd be 1,000% wasted. But
I was living my best life and I was just happy and like making friends. And I was like, oh my gosh, and I'm going to be on set and like obviously like working in like TV or hosting. That's something I've always wanted to do. So I was just excited. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I'm going to be on TV. So exciting. I don't even care what it's for. Next thing I know, honestly, like the next thing I remember, because I kept telling them, I was like, I got to go soon. I got to go. Like I need my beauty sleep.
But they were like pushing it.
No,
right?
my glass never got empty.
Yeah.
I didn't like, I wasn't like, you know what, another one. It was just like, oh, my glass was never empty. So I'm just like kind of sipping and feeling like fun. And I honestly like cut to 4 a.m. And the guy that I was like talking to at the time, he's like calling me repeatedly.
Oh my God.
And and I like wake up. I'm like, oh. I'm like, no, like what? Like what time is it? So I woke up in time.
Yeah.
But I guess since I had like not really been eating, I was like ravenous because I had like drank. I am like in like the white hotel sheets. Like there's like a Snickers like stuck to my left arm. There's like Skittles and kettle corn popcorn. That's my favorite.
Is this from like the vending machine in the hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know that you can swipe your credit card now.
Nick, they have one of those like open, like little marketplaces like they have in hotels.
Yeah.
Nick, I'm assuming I paid for it.
Did
I charge it to the room, to the hotel, to the
like
studio? I don't know if I just grabbed it. Like, I don't really remember. I remember like sort of hopping in an Uber being like, you guys are going to go. Oh, I remember why I left. Because I broke a glass at Pump.
Oh, no.
I remember like setting down my glass and like crushing it and being like, oh God, I'm hanging out with all these cool people. I'm so embarrassed. And James is like, no, like it's fine. It's fine. And I was like, I have to get in an Uber. Like I have to sleep this off. I was definitely still drunk when I woke up.
Yeah.
Like drunk.
Did you wake up in like a complete panic? Or did you wake up like, oh God, like thankfully I'm awake?
I knew I was going to wake up for my alarm. You know, I don't even think I was in bed that late. Like I probably was in bed by 10 or 11.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
No.
But you just like didn't really eat.
No, that's the thing.
When you drank in like 2 months.
Yeah. I do know that I FaceTimed the guy I was talking to naked. And he said I was he was like, he owns a club. And he was like, his phone like doesn't take calls in the basement because the club is like in a basement in Aspen. Yeah.
So you have to FaceTime them over Wi-Fi?
Yeah. Otherwise he won't get calls from me. And he was like, well, I answered and you were naked. And you were also like eating, there were Doritos involved too, I think. And he was like, you were just like.
You just had a whole charcuterie
He's like, you were trying to be like sexy, but then you were like taking bites of a Snickers. While naked. He was like, it was a whole, he's like, I was so worried you weren't going to wake up. So he like woke me up and he was like, oh, like you're awake. And cause I don't know, I think I got 5-6 hours of sleep, something like that. So I immediately called dad at 4 a.m. because I was freaking out, like the anxiety.
Oh,
like I was like, Dad, like I don't know what to do. Like I just woke up, like I've been so good. And like, this was so important to me. And I was like, I am like, what am I doing? I'm ruining it because like I got too drunk. And he was like, Francesca, like you were just excited and you didn't eat and he was like, how much rosé did you have? And I was like, I don't know. James says he thinks I had like a Magnum. And like
I had a whole bottle.
He was like, okay, that was a lot. That's a lot. And he was like, all right, listen.
A Magnum bottle of rosé?
He was like, Francesca, like I was talking to James and he was like, Francesca, you only had like a bottle. And I was like, oh, that's like 4 glasses. He was like, well, like it was a Magnum. And I was like, and I had 2 glasses before that though.
So you had like 3 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. So I'm like,
but over the course of
an evening, I guess.
I'm like, it's not that bad.
I didn't like drink back at the hotel. Yeah. I was like, oh, I gotta go. But like, I didn't think I would like wake up still like wasted. So I called out and he's like, listen, Francesca. He was like, Piazzas. It's our last name for any of you who don't know. He's like, Piazzas do their best work hungover. And I was like, are you sure? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I don't think I can show up to set. And like, I can't do this. And he was like, Francesca, get your ass in the shower. And he's like, and then you're going to go down the hall. This is like mom in the background. She's like, you're going to go down the hall. You're going to fill a bucket up with ice. And you're going to put it in your sink. And you're going to stick your face in it. And you're going to be fine.
She knows the trick.
Yeah, some cold shock therapy. And so I like do all that and I'm like getting ready and I'm like sort of putting my makeup on and I'm like, oh my God, but we have hair and makeup on set They just say like you have come in full hair and makeup, and then basically hair and makeup for them will fix it. They just don't want to like do if they don't want people showing up completely disheveled. They don't have 2 hours per contestant.
Yeah. That makes sense.
They did fix me quite a bit. So I like get down there. First of all, like call time was 6 a.m. for the bus.
So early.
It's ridiculous. But that's like anything on TV. Like some people's call times are like earlier.
Yeah.
But we had to be at the studio by 7. And there's like LA traffic. So 6 a.m. But then like our bus is late. So now I'm like down there for like 30 minutes. I'm like, could have been sleeping. Definitely could have been sleeping.
Yeah.
So then we get in this bus. And you guys, so this game show, they cast like quirky people to like tell little silly stories. So Jay is like asking you about stuff, which mine, I'll get into that. But like my shtick was like that I was Italian. And like, of course, I fucking bring up being gluten-free. Because like, God forbid, I have 30 seconds of any time that I talk to someone, I don't mention I'm gluten-free. I think it's physically impossible.
You literally had the microphone on national television and go, I am gluten-free.
Yep. Yes, it did.
I mean, hey.
So I'm in this like bus full of like, you know, people who want to be on TV. It's like, you know, like reality show people. It's a category of people. And I'm in that category and like, that's fine. I own that. I've always wanted to be on TV. It's like, put me on camera, give me a microphone. Yeah. But think of being in a bus full of those people at 6 a.m. It was like everyone's like cracking jokes, like lots of like stand-up comedians, and
oh man,
you got the funny guys and the funny girls, and it was just like
the funny guys. Yeah.
And I am so fucking drunk still, and I'm like I
would have cracked like a bush light in the back. Just
I was about
chill
to
out for a second.
I was like, I'm not gonna like this is outrageous. And so. Takes an hour to get there. And I'm like, okay, just like stay awake in the van. Cause I didn't know what like my game plan was. Like, do I need to be like chugging coffee because like I'm about to be on? So you get there and they give you kind of the lowdown. But I learned that I might not film until like 5 p.m. that day. But I have to like be ready to go. And you never know when you're going to go. Are you going to go at 7? Are you going to go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? They don't tell you your order. So it's like,
that would be so nerve-wracking, but also boring. Like, I wouldn't be able to get comfortable. I wouldn't be able to be like, okay, let me read a book.
Because you don't know if it's like your turn next.
Do you ever feel like you can't read a book if you have something to do in like 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're going to like forget that you're reading for so long. Do you feel that?
Actually, no.
Okay.
That's...
Never mind.
You could like set an alarm.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
But it's just, yeah, dude, it's kind of like jail. I can relate this to my time in jail. You don't know when you're going to get out.
Yeah.
And that's just like,
yeah.
Like if I told you like go sit in that room and I'm going to call you in 15 minutes or 7 hours, but you have to be on and uppity and ready to go on national television at any time.
Yeah, I feel like what I would do in that situation is I would be like anticipating to go on at any moment. So I'd probably just start chugging caffeine, but then I would have to like wait a long time and then I'd probably like freak out, probably shit my pants from all the coffee and then be like, wait, I am like shaking. And then like, you know, like,
yeah, you can't be too shaky.
Yeah,
you can't over caffeinate.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do.
You can't like spaz out, like stop Jay Leno. So like I'm really trying to like just sort of gauge this and like figure out like my state. Like I can't let the hangover hit, but like I can't drink. Obviously, I don't have shooters. There was someone like in our room that was definitely drunk.
What do you mean?
Like this woman was drunk. I don't know how else to explain it. Like at first I thought she was just weird. Like she came in, like her shoes didn't fit and she like fell over and then she was always like rustling around like in her purse. And like she was just like saying like outlandish things. So like first they sit you down and they tell you like all the rules. So you get in and it's like, hey guys, just to let you know, you can't like talk to anyone from another team or from another group. So there's like group A and group B, and you separate them. And you're only going to have a partner from group B.
Yeah.
So you'll never meet your partner beforehand because I could have met him on the bus, I guess. But they separate you into 2 rooms. But it's so that you just don't know anything. So there is a national game show police that there's also undercover people milling about on set that even like the producers don't know about. Because what if like a producer had their friend apply and then told their friend the answers?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they like won the money and like split it with the producer. So they have like safeguards in place for that. So there's like, they're like, hey guys, there's undercover people and they're like milling about just in case you like talk to someone. So you can't talk to someone on this team. So they put us, this is all happening in like a warehouse. So they put us in 2 rooms in a warehouse, A and B, and you're just in like a folding chair. And I packed all my like clothes for wardrobe in like a little suitcase. So another thing is you have to bring 7 outfits.
That's fucked up.
With very specific guidelines. So you have to wait for wardrobe to call you. But with the outfits, you're not allowed to have like neutral colors, really. They want color and no patterns. And they send you this whole guide on what you can bring. So they separate us. Well, first they tell us the rules. They're like, game show police. You can't talk to people. Have to wear your mask at all times. Like even sitting down by yourself in the corner of this warehouse, you can't take your mask off unless you're eating or drinking. So I took advantage of craft services. I was eating and drinking the whole time. Well,
I'm glad they fed you.
No, so that's something on set. You'll never not be fed on set. So craft services, if you guys don't know, you've had craft services before.
Yeah, no, I've had it. I just didn't know.
Because you've been on set on a reality show. So anyone on a set ever is never not fed. Like that's like the main thing. You have to keep like the cast and crew fed because you're there for so long. Yeah. So craft services is like this array of food and you can take anything you want anytime.
Like Jimmy John sandwiches or something.
No. It's all like packaged food. But there's like oatmeal and stuff they'll heat up for you. There's like any type of like beverage. There's LaCroix and sodas and like what I ate all day is I ate like Doritos and then like cheddar cheese they had in little things. They have like string cheeses and meats and any kind of chip you could want. So I'm like,
I feel like I would just be crushing LaCroix, maybe a Sprite.
So I was doing Coke because Coca-Cola.
I said.
I'm like, so listen, how I did this, just start doing lines.
I said, forget craft services. I'm just going to do Coke in the bathroom, okay? But Jay Leno can't know.
You honestly could have, someone could totally do that. See, I was wondering, like, I don't know if this woman who was drunk, if her show's going to air. Like, what do they do if someone's like sneaking? They don't check you. They take your phones. That's another thing that's boring. You check your phone into like a little sleeve.
A sleeve.
So like you don't fucking know what time it is.
Ew.
You're literally in a corner.
No phone. So you really can't do anything.
No.
You can only do Coke in the bathroom.
Yeah. No, I was drinking like Coca-Cola, eating some cheddar cheese because I was like, okay, good proteins, healthy fats, maybe some sugar from the Coca-Cola, a little bit of caffeine, but it's not a coffee.
Yeah. It's not going to make you shit yourself.
Yeah, but if I don't eat anything like mix that with anything, I feel like it's not going to make me bloated.
Yeah.
Like cheese and sugar, I feel like that's kind of like safe.
Yeah.
Unless you're like lactose intolerant. I'm not.
Can't relate to you people.
So, okay. We're in there and so I finally get called for like wardrobe. And I like go to the wardrobe lady and she goes through everything. I had gotten this, you were with me, in Nordstrom. I got this like neon orange dress.
I love it, by the way.
No,
you look so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It really worked. And I was like, but come on. Like I got matching orange shoes, which were hilarious. But they were like the dress, like when I put it on, you were like, dude, yes. Like, why does that look so good on you? And then we saw some shoes that were the exact same color down in the Nordstrom, like shoe department. And the guy was like, oh, it's like it's your lucky day. These are the last shoe this color. And not even just like this color in your size, the last shoe in this color, like in the company. And he was like, you should go buy a lottery ticket today. Like it's your lucky day. And I was like, okay, the shoes, like with luck and like a game show. I was like, I feel like this is my dress.
Did you buy a lottery ticket?
No, but I was like, but I won the show.
Yeah.
So like he knew it was like
yeah.
my lucky dress. So I like show up to wardrobe and I'm like kind of nervous now. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wear like neon orange on TV. And so I was like, oh, I have this outfit and like I have this outfit and I have this one. She was like, oh honey, like you are wearing the orange.
Yeah.
She was like,
good,
and I even
good.
came back up to her because she was like steaming it and like getting it all ready for me. And yeah, they like, you have to try on things for them. Then they steam it and then they wait.
No, I'm curious what you're about to say. Like,
why?
No, like.
I like went back up to her and I was like, I don't know. I think we should maybe wear this. And she was like, honey,
really?
like stop. You're wearing the orange.
Yeah. I would listen to her, but that's funny that you were like, oh,
I wasn't about it. I was just like, no, like it's too much. Like I have all these other cute outfits. And she was like, I'm not going to change my mind. And I'm literally in charge. So like go sit back in your hole. Yeah.
I feel like it makes you look tan. It makes
Thank
you look
you.
like tan and like sun-kissed and like.
It's like my color. I didn't know like this like tangerine dress, which the drunk lady started calling me the tangerine dream. She's like, oh, look guys, the tangerine dream. And I was like, honestly, thank you.
Thank you. I love a drunk woman, just like, you know.
Dude, we were like, because we couldn't really even talk with each other. It was like silent. So everyone was like reading their books.
You're not allowed to talk with each other?
Even on your own team, I guess you can, but everybody was kind of doing their own things. There was people that were really serious about it. Like they were doing like mouth exercises.
Ow, now brown cow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So think of the like crazy women like in the corner. One of them was like, I'm going to like talking with a pen in her mouth. Like I'm going to do it right now. And she's like, how now brown cow? How? And I was like,
weird. I've never heard that before.
What are you doing? She's like, oh, it like loosens up your lips because it's your mouth getting over that. And I'm like, whatever.
We should start doing those exercises before the podcast. They're actually really
I don't think it's that serious.
No, they were. It was very big in theater.
She was definitely a theater kid.
I know New York. I need New York.
Oh.
I know I need unique New York. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, Nick.
No, I actually have like
a list,
a whole repertoire.
We never did any of that in my acting classes. But like theater and on-camera acting are so different.
And like there is like a skill of over enunciation, especially like projecting your voice. Anyway, back to the story.
Anyway, so people are like practicing, they're like doing their things. People are like meditating. I feel like people are like trying to like manifest winning, and I'm just over here like. I'm so drunk still, but I'm not like the drunk lady. I'm just like, I can't let my hangover hit.
Yeah. Like you're just trying to like pull it together and like center.
But I have like, I'm actually the only one who is like, everybody's just kind of like awkward and not talking. Cause like, you know how like, I don't really have like nervousness with like meeting people.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like looking at other people like, is this girl like drunk? But like, I don't know. I'm like, that's crazy. Or I'm like, you know, they're like, hey, put your mask up again, Francesca. And I'm like,
classic Francesca.
I'm like rolling my eyes and like looking at my, like, you know, my team. I'm like, ugh, like these guys, they're going to, I'm
slowly
like,
put it under your nose.
Oh no, I'm eating. And I just like kept shoving cheese in my face. And, so then I'm like kind of trying to make friends. I'm like, you guys, I'm like, you know, the restaurant Pump. I'm like, I might have gone out and had a little too much rosé last night. And they're like, oh my God, you're wild. And they're like, I was in bed by 5 p.m. They're like, I was like doing my exercises. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I was getting like wasted in West Hollywood. So I'm like,
was at a drag show.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm like, I was out and about. And I was like, you know, I was just really excited. And they were like, oh my gosh, like, wow, you're wild. They're like, so you know people in LA? And I'm like, I come here sometimes. Just thinking I'm so cool.
I've been to LA 3 times.
Like literally. And so so I'm telling the people, which Dad would always say, like, never tell people your secrets. Like you show up, you're good, you're on it. Nope, like I need to like let someone know.
I always need to like be like, you, man.
I'm like, you're gonna be my friend. So like I'm kind of like telling the people on my team, but like LOL. So then you know, I'm doing with my mixture. I did take like a half an Adderall.
Oh, you had Adderall?
Yeah.
Oh. No sweat.
I know. But I
Hangover,
can't be too
no
cracked
more.
out.
Yeah.
So I took a halvesy of like a tiny.
Honestly, with a hangover and Adderall, if you just take a little bit to where you don't even notice
that
you're
you know what
on
I did? This is fucked up. I'm going to say this. I took half an Adderall and half a Xanax.
Yeah, perfect combo. Match made
Yeah,
in heaven.
it like mixes because like no anxiety.
Yeah.
But you're not tired.
Yeah.
You're alert. And then I had the caffeine of the Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
I'm over here doing alchemy. I am. No one even knows what's going. They're like, what am I going to look like on TV? Blah, blah. I'm like, I need the perfect amount of drugs in my system for this to work out. Okay. So we got the tangerine on. I get called for hair and makeup. I'm like, great. So I'm like, hey guys, went out last night. I'm like, shh, you guys. And they're like telling me all the people they work with, what other sets. Cause I was like, oh my God, like, what do you guys do? What TV shows do you normally work on?
The producers?
No,
you went out last night?
not the producers.
Oh. I was like,
no,
girl,
they
no
can't
way.
know. The hair and makeup people.
Oh.
They're your homies. It's fine. They were good.
That's risky business.
I just told them I went out and to like cover my dark eye circles. I was like, listen, we just need like maybe a little extra concealer. I didn't tell them I was like hungover or anything. I was just like, hey, extra concealer. Had a little fun in West Hollywood last night.
For this makeup look, could you make it look like I didn't get in a fight with an Uber driver last night?
Could you make it look like I didn't wake up with like unmelted Snickers on my naked body in the hotel sheets? They're going to think the maid's immediately going to think I shit myself in that bed.
I don't want to derail the story, but I do have to say I once woke up in China covered in noodles. Because I got some street noodles and they come in like plastic bags. They put like
what you'd get a goldfish out of?
Yeah, pretty much. They just bring you like noodles in a bag.
Does it zip like a Ziploc?
Oh, it's just a bag, but it's like a strong bag. I don't know.
But does it have handles or do they have a rubber band on the top?
It's a little bag. It's a cute little bag, like a small grocery bag, a small plastic grocery bag.
Okay.
Yeah. And noodles actually fit really well in the bag. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, but like it's like super oily. Think like
messy,
Chinese
yucky
noodles like fried in the wok. Yeah. And I guess I went home. Don't remember like doing this, but I went home and I guess I just like passed out the moment I hit my bed and just like used this bag of noodles as like a pillow, and I woke up and the entire sheets and mattress were just completely destroyed, like oil, like deep saturated oil stain, and I actually had to pay to replace the mattress and the no, I'm talking like there was like noodle on my forehead and I'm like
you could have drowned in your noodle bag.
I know. Yeah. Anyway.
How much did the mattress cost?
I don't know, like $25.
Yeah.
Take it.
I just love your story because you had a maid that would wake you up. And if you were hungover, she would shoo you out of your room. Yeah,
she would yell at me. And they had keys to the door, and like they would just come in and tell me to get up. But sometimes it was like 7 in the morning on a Saturday, and I'm like, you are literally fucking crazy.
And
like,
they
get out.
And
get
no,
out of
they
my
wouldn't
room.
get out though. So
no,
you've
I
told
know.
me you've been so hungover, like like you just went to bed, and she has made you sit in the hallway, like hands on your head as she cleaned your room.
I've literally like rolled off the bed and like continued to sleep on the floor as she like steps over me to change, because I was like working for a nightclub at that point. So like that's why it was so bad. I don't do morning well.
No, you can even say it well.
I know. I'm talking dried noodles, literally like attached to my forehead. Like,
no,
anyway,
I was picking Skittles and Snickers off, and it melted to the body.
Skittles are bad. I've had Skittles stuck to me too.
So there we haven't. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm in hair and makeup.
Uh-huh.
You know, we're like chit-chatting. I feel like they were my friends. Like everyone on set, I will say, because also when you're in that slap happy mood.
That still drunk early morning brunch vibe.
Yes.
Right? Except I think that's actually some of my best comedy and the funniest jokes that I've ever come up with are in that mode.
Oh, I am friends with the producers. I'm hanging out with hair and makeup. Like they didn't want me to leave. Like we're shooting the shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we gotta do something. They're like, oh, honey, I got you. So they make me beautiful, but the hair's beautiful. But here's the thing. I still might not get called up for a few hours. Mm-hmm. But after you're in hair and makeup, it's like 1 to, I feel like 3 hours would be excessive. Yeah. But probably like 1 to 3 hours. But I don't know. So I'm like in my little foldy chair, like, oh my God, I can't just like say what I'm going to read. I'm going to put myself to sleep. Like, there's nothing like, I guess I could have played like Sudoku. I didn't come that prepared. So I'm like looking at the 2 books I brought. I'm like, obviously not going to read these. So I kept going to craft services just to talk. Because I wanted to walk around and like see the studio. What are you up to? How long are you been working for craft services?
What are your hours like, huh? They treat you well. They treat you real good because you don't have to put up with shit.
Well, it was interesting in craft services because again, they're still like, you know, plain COVID. Yeah. So like you weren't allowed to touch any of the food. So you had to talk to them and like have them with their gloves touch it and then hand it to
and
you.
Then,
like with tongs. Yeah, it was literally like that. And I don't know. And then someone made a comment that I was only eating colors that were the same color as my dress. Because I kept getting Cheez-Its. It was like the Doritos, the cheddar cheese, and then I was drinking my favorite LaCroix is the limoncello. So I was drinking those too, and they were all the same color. And they're like, "Is that your favorite color?" It's like, what? They're like, "You've only consumed things that are that color."
They don't call me the Tangerine Dream for nothing.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
I actually did get in trouble because I kept going to the bathroom too much. They probably did think I was doing lines. But the bathroom was like
that's just showbiz, baby.
Yeah. The bathrooms were trailers outside. And it was like a nice day and I'm just sitting in a warehouse. So like I was trying to keep myself awake. So I kept trying to go outside so I could take my mask off and like walk around. So I kept being like, can I go to the bathroom? And the producer would be like, yes, you may leave. And yeah, so I'm like outside. They're like, can you just stay in your spot? Can you just wait like everyone else here? And I was like, oh sorry. I just flung my drink.
Hold up.
Sorry, guys. I got excited. I just threw my drink. Okay. So then they're like, Francesca, you need to stay in like one spot. Like, stop getting up. I'm like, oh, rude. I've been hearing this my whole life.
I'm just trying to go play on the train tracks outside.
Well, they used to make me run around the school if I didn't take my ADD medicine because I was like too like fidgety. They were like, "Oh, did you take your medicine today?" And if I didn't, I would have to run around the school.
You know, they would always say like, "Nick, I can tell when you take your medicine and when you can't." And so I would lie and be like, "Oh, like I took my medicine today." And they'd be like, "See, I can tell you did." I'm like, "Bitch, no, I didn't."
Sneaky. Yeah. Nick like pretended to take his ADD medicine for like a year. Mm-hmm. And then he was hoarding all of the pills in a plant. Mm-hmm. That's a little kid.
That plant must have been fucking jacked. There's just 60
to the moon.
Man, my Monstera just grows so fast these days. Yeah.
Your plant's just on Adderall. That's funny. No, so then I was gonna sleep. I decided like rest my eyes until it came. I'm like, I might as well just like shut myself down. But like I need to preserve the makeup. So I like laid flat as a board on the ground with my hair like sprawled around me so it didn't mess up the curls. Huh. And so I'm like laying there. And a producer comes in and is like, I guess to everybody else, like, oh my gosh, like, is she okay? But I had to tell all my friends. I was like, listen, guys, you know I was out. I'm just going to like sleep. Just like rest my eyes for like a second.
Just resting my eyes.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm just going to rest my eyes for like a sec. But I'm like, fine. Like I'll be ready to go. Just trust me. And the producer comes in and he's like, oh my God, like, is she okay? And this girl, let's call her Emily. That might be her actual name. I just like forget. I think that's what her name was. And she was like, oh, you know, and she made like the drinking, like drinking a bottle. Like, oh, she was drinking last night. And she didn't think I could hear her or see her. And I like sat up and I was like, no, I didn't. I'm fine. Like to the producer, she's trying to get me like kicked off the show.
Ew, I'd punch her in the throat.
We're not competing against each other, bitch. I'm like, this girl's trying to sabotage me.
Like, there Emily goes, lying again. You know?
I literally was like, no, like I'm fine. I was like, I'm just like bored. So I'm just going to like lay down and like rest for a second. I was like, I was so nervous I couldn't sleep last night. Yeah. Valid. Literally like this man with like a headset and a clipboard, like he like squints his eyes, like decided if he believes me. And he's like, okay. And he like walks away. And I like,
so Emily's that type of girl that's like, you know, are you going to collect our homework today, teacher? You know?
Yeah. Like, oh, like, weren't we supposed to have a pop quiz? Yeah. That's exactly Emily. But she also was like trying to like tell like, yeah, just like silently. And she knew I didn't want anyone to know. I was like, obviously don't tell anyone. Like you guys are on my team. Like I thought we were a group. So then Emily gets called up and she goes to do her thing. And I was like, you guys, did you see that?
Fucking, we're about to have a mutiny.
Yeah. And like there's this like big like woman comedian, and she was honestly like hitting on all of the producers.
Love it.
Like
Love
hardcore.
it.
And it was just like, it was just so funny and like making them uncomfortable. And I was like, I'm here for this. Like, I love this bitch. I think it's like Jennifer from like Ohio. Loved her. And so I'm like, Jennifer, like, did you see that? I go, she tried to like get me in trouble and like get me kicked off the show. Like I was like still drunk or something. I'm like, I'm not drunk. That woman's drunk over there. But like, I'm not going to tell producers. It's not my job. And I don't want to get her in trouble. And she was like, no, I wouldn't. She was like, she did that to producers. I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, she's drinking. Like, cause one thing about me is like, I will start the drama. You put me in a room. Huh? You put me in a room with 12 strangers. Like they could have had cameras in there. I was like, is this the show? Like, did I get cast for a fake game show? And they're trying to turn us against Nick. I 100% thought so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like get the teams against each other. Who would tell? And I was like, am I like being punked right now?
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So you think you're on for something else, and then because I've already signed a release, that I would be on TV. I am like, she's against me. I'm like, dude, and she's like, no, fuck that. And she's like, I'm not gonna let her come back in here and think that like we're a team, we're a crew, we're Team A, and she's gonna go against you like that. And I was like, right? And I was like, but it's fine. Like, don't start anything because I'm not trying to like get myself kicked off right now starting shit. But like I would glare at her. Like anytime she would say anything or try to be my friend, I'd be like, Emily, like I've clocked you. Yeah. I know who you are. Don't try and be friends with me.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah, and she was the one doing all her little exercises with her pen and her how now brown cows.
God, teacher's pet. Brown noser.
Awful, awful vibes.
Loser.
So
I hope you get a divorce.
We don't even know if she's married.
I know, she sounds like it.
No.
She sounds like she has like a nice little
she's not. She was a cat lady for sure. Oh. Like that. Those are the vibes I was getting. Anyway, so
I'm just trying to ruin her life.
No, I was like, this is my enemy. Yeah. Like she's going down. Like I have made enemies in this room. Like she's coming after me. But anyway, so then I take a nap.
On the floor.
Great. On the floor.
In a hallway.
Like a corpse.
Yeah.
And I'm excellent at that. And then I get called up. It's my turn. I get paired with a nice like older man named Jeremy.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Hello.
And he is like his like thing, his like quirky little thing. So he teaches people to drive exotic cars. Super cool.
Fascinating.
So a lot of his like clients are like YouTubers. So like he'll have these YouTubers who are like 16 years old and they buy a Ferrari, but they don't know how to drive it. Yeah. And they're like hard to drive.
No, I know.
I didn't know. They're like race cars.
There's like things.
Yeah. There's paddle shifters. He was telling me all about it. But so he'll take them to like a NASCAR track or whatever and like teach them how to drive these cars so they don't die. And a lot of like rich people, I guess, want to know how to drive their new Lamborghini. So you hire someone like Jeremy.
Yeah, I guess so.
And so behind the scenes, since it's like a trivia show and they ask questions, there's always like a team captain and producers choose who. And it's so that we don't argue on television. Like, no, I think it should be this or I think it should be this. It's like we try to come to a decision, but the team captain secretly has they can say this is our answer, like final answer
out
type
of like
thing.
the two pairs.
Yeah, so each pair has like a secret team captain.
Were you the team captain?
No, it was Jeremy.
Jeremy.
He
seems like
they were like Jeremy's in charge. And then you have to like producers. So they come to you like months before, like when you get cast, and then they called me the night before, and then during the day they coach you on what to say. So if they're like, okay, like they're like, listen, like you're the Italian girl, you're going to talk about this. Jay's going to ask you this. This is kind of like this, like how it's going to go. And then they like test you. So they're like, okay, if he says this, what do you say? So everything is like pretty much scripted, but you can put your own personality in there, but they're like, he's literally going to ask you this. You're literally going to say this. Let's just say I went off script a little bit.
As you should, honestly.
Yeah. And it is a surprise. You don't I guess you don't know exactly. They're like, he could ask you about these 10 things we know about you. But like, he has bullet points on me of who I am and what I have interesting to say. So Jeremy and I go up. We also have to know if you're gonna like high five or like hug when you like get a question right. So we decided on like a pound it. Like we gave Nux, which looks hilarious.
Yeah.
Me giving Nux on television. But so we come up and we go out, which there is a live audience. So people can also like win to be an audience member.
Okay.
So they'll like fly you out and you get to like be an audience and watch the taping all day.
I guess I didn't think that there would be an audience because of like COVID.
Yeah. It was like pretend COVID because this was like last summer. It was pretty much like over, but
yeah, we just wore masks.
Yeah, they sat like distance from each other with like masks on, like in there. But I guess it's cool for people to like win getting flown out. You get to meet Jay Leno and like watch a show happen.
And Jay Leno, like we were talking about this, like he's like famous.
Yeah,
he's not just like a guy you know. He is a household name.
Yeah, everybody knows him.
Yeah, he's like one of like legacy celebrities. So that's kind of cool.
What I will say is, we can talk about Jay for a second. So nice, so chill, and genuinely acted like he cared.
That's
so like
that's really
in between commercials, he would be like, "Oh, so like, how are you doing? Like, how's LA been? Like, what's going on?" Like, wasn't like a diva. Didn't like when the cameras turned off. He didn't like turn around and like go get a snack or like go to hair and makeup and just like ignore us. He would come up and like talk to us and like chat, and like,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
you wouldn't expect that from someone like him. Yeah.
But I will also say that everybody on set, like all the producers and all the people working there, they were in such a good mood, and they were. Cool. I could tell that it seemed like it came from the top down. Like it seemed like Jay wanted his show, like everybody to be happy and excited to be on it.
Like good atmosphere.
Yeah. So they're like, Jay really wants to like you guys to have fun and be excited. And because think like a lot of people, I mean, even me, like it's not like I've been on a lot of stuff. Like, they're flying you out to LA. You're meeting a celebrity. You're on national television. So it's some people's like dream.
Yeah.
And like what they've been trying to manifest forever. And so for it to, what if he was mean to you and then it like all comes crashing down or just like everybody on set was rude. Like, yeah, they had us like locked down, but that's like the rules, but they were like all nice.
That's good. I actually know someone who knows a lot of famous people and he told me, this is before you said this about Jay. He was like, oh, and by the way, like, Jay Leno is super fucking nice. Like he's like actually a really good guy and is like really nice to everyone. So he was like, oh, I'm sure your sister and Jay will get along just great. And he was like, but I can't say that about Letterman. He's like, Letterman's a dick. Letterman like will not speak to you. Like it's almost like don't speak until spoken to. You know? Kind of deal like that. I would get the opposite vibe.
Oh, really?
I could see Jay being a little too cool for school.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely there to work, which it's wild. He's 72.
Yeah. Looks great.
Yeah. Well, those episodes, because there's like a new episode every day while it's airing. So he films like over a 4 to 5 month period. He films 7 to 8 episodes a day.
Yeah.
So Jay was there like the whole time I was there. Jay was there the entire time. Like he shows up, which apparently like for kind of the cast and crew, he'll show up in a different car every day. Let them come check it out. So that day I was there. He drove up in his Lotus.
He's a car guy.
Yeah. So my partner was a car guy. So Jay also was coming up and talking to us about cars. Not us talking to him, but I was like there.
See, that's a good like connection. Okay.
And then my producer told me because Jay is like
cute
East Coast Italian or grew up with all the Italians. I don't know if he's actually Italian. And so that's why they cast me. And that's why they cast me like as the Italian girl. They're like, oh, Jay's going to love this. Okay. He's going to want to talk to you about like growing up and like what you were doing. You know, he's so into that and like obsessed with like Italian food and Italian culture. And he's just super New York. And, so he like really hung out and then he's talking to my dude about cars and then talking to me about being Italian. And like, it was just like the best day.
You just like spent the day with Jay Leno.
Yeah.
I love that.
And so, but I think that's such a good thing to like shout out for the show is that everyone was happy and cool. And I think it comes from him. Like they were like, well, Jay wants everyone to like feel included and be excited. And the producers like pump you up and like you get all these directions. They're like, don't look here, only look here, stand here, your hands go here. So you're like trying to remember all this, but like trying to be like natural on TV. So it is a skill. Like obviously anybody that you see host and everything, like it's so much harder than you think it is. So yeah, we go out there and it's wild though to see like the whole like closed set with all the like lights and everything lit up on like a game show. But yeah, so we chose our category. It was on the move, which we had no idea what that meant. But like my car guy, ours was like anything to do with like transportation.
Yeah.
And stuff. So we got every single question right. And then at the end of the show, you get to bet. It's called You Bet Your Life. So you can bet all of your money and then like double it to like win. So it's like we were at 2,500 and he was like, you guys want to bet all of your money and you can walk away with 5,000 or you lose everything, which is kind of like, it's a lot of money, but not like crazy amount. I'm like 2,500, but like Jeremy and I, like, we were like, let's fucking do it.
Do it. If you didn't, I'd be like,
ew.
I'd be like, what? Oh, have fun with that. Like $900. The fuck?
Yeah. No, so we bet it. And then I got our final question right.
What was the final question?
It was like in 1999. What did like Bertrand, I don't remember his name, but what did he circumvent the world in? Like what vehicle? And I was like, hot air balloon. Like for sure.
I don't think I would have gotten that.
I just remember Dad following it. Like I remember that from like, I have like a weird memory like that from things.
How do you do that? Like, don't you run out of gas?
I have no idea.
I don't know how.
Or did blimps come and give? Yeah, you would have to. Maybe he set it down and went back up, but he did. I'm sure he came down and up.
But over the ocean?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Wow, now I gotta look into it. Oh. But Jeremy was like, or was it one of those like little electric kind of car things? Yeah, and I was like, shit, I don't know. But Jeremy, being our secret team captain, he was like, let's go with your gut. And yeah, so we won. And another thing, they hand you money like on TV, but they warn you. They're like, listen, it's fake money. So like you have to pretend like it's real money. So he's like, my sister-in-law, she like was like, Francesca, when Jay handed you the money, you go, oh my God, Jay, like you shouldn't have. But yeah, so.
What a fun experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we're going to use what are we going to use your money for?
Like I'm going to use the money for like a big SAUCY SIBZ.
Sign.
Neon sign.
A big mural. You know, like in Modern Family, when they get the mural of them as like angels, just us, as angels.
Be some stupid shit we would do.
Yeah.
Cool. But I will say that I did talk about being gluten free. I somehow told Jay that I was hungover on national television because he asked me about my Italian family drinking wine, and I was like, yeah, Jay, like I might have had a little too much wine last night. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Is that okay? I'm like, I just spilled. I'm like, don't tell anyone. Don't tell producers. I tell Jay. Then,
national television.
Then he's like, haven't you like broken the cardinal sin of like being like, you know, an older, like being still single in an Italian family? And I was like, well, Jay, I am still single. So if there's any like young Italian men out there who want to sweep me off my feet.
What if you get some DMs after the show airs?
I've never been.
I saw you on national television.
Yeah, I'm just to let you know I'm single. You guys, I will keep you updated if that happens. Honestly, guys, I'm still single. Let's just pitch myself again.
To anyone listening, Francesca's single.
And I was like, yeah, my family just thinks there must be something wrong with me. And in my head, I'm like, well, there's definitely something wrong with me.
I love it. I think it's funny.
Gosh.
Just like.
So that's what I did, guys.
But you did get like the most airtime.
I did. I talked a lot out of like the other people on the show, which like give me a second. But they didn't cut me out a lot.
No. I was kind of surprised. You said that you were gluten free. Said you were single. Said you were hungover.
They loved it.
Yeah. Well,
they named my episode "Breaking the Rules."
Breaking the Rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the description?
Because I said I also started drinking wine at 10 years old.
Yeah. What was the description? It was like
it was breaking the rules. Someone who was a foot model and said they had the different shoe size, and someone who started drinking wine at 10 years old. It's like,
guess which one Francesca?
Guess which one?
Oh man. Well,
Honestly, yeah, that was just kind of the recap of the show, guys. So it'll be on YouTube in a couple weeks.
I'm gonna have to make like a animated music video to it. You know what I mean?
It's You Bet Your Life, episode 155. Breaking the rules.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
It's good practice because I want to get back into acting and everything like that, but hey, we're here doing this. Yeah. This is something. This is on camera. Okay, fam, I think we're out of time today. I have just been holding that in for like 9 months.
Because you couldn't tell anyone until it aired.
No, you could get like sued for like $100,000 or you sign your life away. Like I couldn't. Well, I wasn't supposed to tell like anyone. I did ask producers. I said, I have a podcast.
So I have the loudest mouth ever.
Let me just slip that in there.
Yeah,
I'm like, if you didn't know, it's called SAUCY SIBZ. Follow me. No, I was like, listen, I have a podcast. Am I allowed to say I was on a show? And they were like, you're allowed to say you're on a show. You're not allowed to say with who and when and whatever. But once we give you the go ahead, you can like blast it everywhere. So I have literally been keeping this in for 9 months. Yeah. And I have just been so excited to tell you guys. So my national television debut. Yeah. Let me know how it was. It was super embarrassing. I am smiling too big. I'm like elated, but I did come out of it saying that I want to be on set for like the rest of my life. Yeah. Yeah. But here we are. We're on set.
We're on set. Yeah. Set in the closet, you know.
Baby steps, guys. Well, cheers. Yeah. We'll see you soon, fam. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Bye.
Bye.